اسمحوا لي أن أتكلم بلساني العربي قبل أن يحتلوا لغتي أيضاً. Allow me to speak my Arab tongue before they occupy my language as well. Allow me to speak my mother tongue before they colonize her memory as well. I am an Arab woman of color, and we come in all shades of anger. My name is RAFEEF ZIADAH. I'm a Palestinian spoken word artist and activist based in London. The name RAFEEF is an Arabic name, and it means the sound of dove's wings. And I was named that for refugees returning to their original homes, because my parents were hoping that one day, if they don't get to see Palestine again, that I would be able to return. I'm a third-generation Palestinian refugee, and with all the problems with documentation that Palestinians have, I ended up living across many, many countries, many times deported from one country to the next. My earliest childhood memories are of Beirut. Unfortunately, it's of the war in Beirut. Later, we moved from Tunisia to many different places across the Middle East, and then finally Greece for a while. Most people, when thinking about Palestine, they think about the occupied territories and the military occupation. They often forget the story of Palestinian refugees. They often forget that this Palestinian story is a story of exile and homelessness, deportations, and continuous deportation, and the inability to go back home. The incident that created Shades of Anger was the culmination of many years and incidents of facing racism and not knowing what to do about it or how to speak to it. And sadly, the incident that actually sparked my performance was someone on my university campus kicking me and saying, "You deserve to be raped before you have terrorist children." I am an Arab woman of color, and we come in all shades of anger. All my grandfather ever wanted to do was wake up at dawn and watch my grandmother kneel and pray in a village hidden between Jaffa and Haifa. My mother was born under an olive tree on a soil they say is no longer mine, but I will cross their barriers, their checkpoints, their damn apartheid walls, and return to my homeland. I am an Arab woman of color, and we come in all shades of anger. And did you hear my sister screaming yesterday as she gave birth at a checkpoint with Israeli soldiers looking between her legs for their next demographic threat? Called her baby girl Janine. And did you hear Amne Muna screaming behind their prison bars as they tear-gassed her cell? We are returning to Palestine. I am an Arab woman of color, and we come in all shades of anger. But you tell me this womb inside of me will only bring you your next terrorist. Beard-wearing, gun-waving, towel-head, sand nigger. You tell me I send my children out to die, but those are your copters, your F-16s in our skies. And let's talk about this terrorism business for a second. Wasn't it the CIA that killed Allende and Lumumba? And who trained Osama in the first place? My grandparents didn't run around like clowns with white capes and white hoods on their heads lynching black people. I am an Arab woman of color, and we come in all shades of anger. So who's that brown woman screaming in a demonstration? Sorry, should I not scream? I forgot to be your every Orientalist dream. Genie in a bottle, belly dancer, harem girl, soft-spoken Arab woman. Yes, master. No, master. Thank you for the peanut butter sandwiches raining down on us from your F-16s, master. Yes, my liberators are here to kill my children and call them collateral damage. I am an Arab woman of color, and we come in all shades of anger. So let me just tell you, this womb inside of me will only bring you your next rebel. She'll have a rock in one hand and a Palestinian flag in the other. I am an Arab woman of color. Beware, beware my anger. We Teach Life was written in 2008. During the attack on Gaza, during the military assault on Gaza. One of the most densely populated areas on earth being completely carpet-bombed, facing a siege, an inhumane siege, and the entire media being focused just on the Palestinians and ignoring Israeli actions completely. So we were trying to find any words to get the message through, and we were preparing. And we had, people advising us on how you're supposed to talk to the media, how you're supposed to smile, how you're supposed to dress. And even though I didn't really buy a lot of it, I was desperate to do something to make the world know what was actually happening. So I went through all of the motions, and I learned everything the way you're supposed to. And when we went to the press conference the next morning, the first question I got was, "But you Palestinians teach your children so much hate, and things would be so much better if you didn't teach them so much hatred." And for a split second, I froze and then remembered my training and smiled. But that same evening, I wrote "We Teach Life" as a response to all of the questions that Palestinians get on a constant basis. Today, my body was a TV'd massacre. Today, my body was a TV'd massacre that had to fit into sound bites and word limits. Today, my body was a TV'd massacre that had to fit into sound bites and word limits, filled enough with statistics to counter measured response. And I perfected my English and I learned my UN resolutions. But still, he asked me, "Ms. ZIADAH, don't you think everything would be resolved if you would just stop teaching so much hatred to your children?" Pause. I look inside of me for strength to be patient, but patience is not at the tip of my tongue as the bombs drop over Gaza. Patience has just escaped me. Pause. Smile. "We teach life, sir." RAFEEF, remember to smile. Pause. "We teach life, sir. We Palestinians teach life after they have occupied the last sky. We teach life after they have built their settlements and apartheid walls. After the last skies, we teach life, sir." But today, my body was a TV'd massacre made to fit into sound bites and word limits. And just give us a story, a human story. You see, this is not political. We just want to tell people about you and your people. So give us a human story. Don't mention that word apartheid and occupation. This is not political. You have to help me as a journalist to help you tell your story, which is not a political story. Today, my body was a TV'd massacre. How about you give us a story of a woman in Gaza who needs medication? How about you? Do you have enough bone-broken limbs to cover the sun? Hand me over your dead and give me the list of their names in 1,200 word limits. Today, my body was a TV'd massacre made to fit into sound bites and word limits and move those that are desensitized to terrorist blood. But they felt sorry. They felt sorry for the cattle over Gaza. So I give them UN resolutions and statistics, and we condemn and we deplore and we reject. And these are not two equal sides, occupier and occupied, and 100 dead, 200 dead, and 1,000 dead. And between that war crime and massacre, I vent out words and smile, not exotic. Smile, not terrorist. And I recount 100 dead, 200 dead, 1,000 dead. Is anyone out there? Will anyone listen? I wish I could wail over their bodies. I wish I could just run barefoot in every refugee camp and hold every child, cover their ears so they wouldn't have to hear the sound of bombing for the rest of their life the way I do. Today, my body was a TV'd massacre, and let me just tell you, there is nothing your UN resolutions have ever done about this. And no soundbite I come up with, no matter how good my English gets, no soundbite will bring them back to life. No soundbite will fix this. We teach life, sir. We teach life, sir. We Palestinians wake up every morning to teach the rest of the world life, sir. I think poetry in general is oppositional. What I love about spoken word is that it is oppositional in its form and in its content. I strive for political content, and I think one crucial way to gauge social movements is the cultural production that's happening. So I think spoken word hopefully can bridge that gap between the political and the artistic, and between culture and politics. And I think as a form, it does that beautifully. Hadil came because I wanted to tell the story of people and names that people don't just remember. And one day I was just watching the news, and in the ticker at the bottom, it just said, Palestinian family, bombing, Hadil, and death and her age. And the ticker went by, it didn't even repeat again. And then an Israeli woman spokesperson got on the news to explain this, that it was just an accident. This was around the debate where it was within the US invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan, where there was a huge marketing debate about the use of women spokespeople for militaries, how that softens the message and makes it better. So Hadil was written for the girl Hadil to just remind the world of her. Hadil is 9. Hadil is 9. No, sorry, my apologies. Hadil was 9. Just this morning, Hadil was 9. An official said they regret her death. Israeli officials said they regret her death, but terrorism must stop, rockets must stop, resistance must stop, or they will continue, they will continue, they will continue, they will continue to bomb Gaza until we give up the bit of dignity we have left, until we elect who they want, sign what they want, and die, 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 die in silence the way they want. You see, Israeli security is absolute. It's written in blood and bulldozers and the art of women spokespersons, because death is softer coming from a woman. Death, they tell me, is more polite and elegant coming from a woman. But who? Who will tell Hadil's mother, busy baking bread and za'atar, that the doves will not fly over Gaza again. The doves will not fly over Gaza again. The doves will not fly over Gaza again. Hadil is gone, and her brother Ahmed lost his sight. The doves will not fly over Gaza again. Hadil, every prayer I remember. Every prayer I remember and half remember won't bring you back. Every prayer I remember, every prayer I look inside of me to remember won't bring you back as you wrap yourself in stories of Palestine. Hide under a bed waiting for the next soldier to knock down your door to cast us out of a history we carry on our backs. Hadil, Hadil, Hadil. Who? Which of you will tell Hadil that nothing changed the day she died? Next meeting, next train, next meeting, next train. Not a pause, not a tear. Is this worth a press release? Is this worth a press release? Just another Palestinian gone. Is this worth a press release? Solidarity from afar, like a sick joke, a bad story to tell a child. And they tell me, they keep telling me, don't cry for martyrs, don't cry for martyrs, don't cry for martyrs. Carry on the fight, carry on the fight, carry on the fight, carry on the fight, carry on the fight. But for Hadil, give me just one moment of silence. No. Just give me one moment of sincere resistance, so you can hold on to the bit of dignity you have left for Hadil.